The New York Open at 9:30 a.m. is when the entire market wakes up at once and where major moves happen. But almost everyone trades it incorrectly and loses a ton of money doing it. Because what traders try to do is either trade the open directly and get steamrolled by the volatility, or they simply avoid the open and wait, but in doing so, also miss some of the cleanest opportunities in the market. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can trade the open and catch the clean moves while also avoiding the chaos. I've already been trading this way profitably for years, and in this video, I'll show you the exact process I use every single session, step by step. Now, the open has by far the most trading activity in the day, and there are a lot of different strategies that try to capture this trading activity. But that's the problem. The open doesn't behave like the rest of the trading day, and that's what makes it so difficult to read and trade properly. Because think about how you even trade profitably in the first place. Think about why you even have an edge at all. The reason you can profit consistently in the market is because you're able to consistently identify opportunities where one outcome is more likely than the other. That's all an edge is. A repeatable situation where the probabilities lean in your direction over and over again. That's how you accumulate profit over time. And that kind of situation happens when one side, either buyers or sellers, are in control. If no one is in control, then it's basically impossible to get an edge out of that long term because the market can move to either side with equal probability. That means you'll end up with zero profit overall, and that's the best case scenario, assuming you don't make any kind of mistake or take impulse trades, which we all do. But if one side is in control, then the market is more likely to continue moving in that direction, and that's a situation where we can win more often than we lose and come out with a profit long term. And that brings us to the open. At the open, we very rarely have a clear indication of who's in control. Even if we think we do, the chaos at the open will make it very difficult to get a hold of this and profit off it smoothly. Because think about it. Let's say the price is looking bullish before the open, right? So the market opens, you enter long, and then the market dips and hits your stop loss right before it moves higher. Well, now you've learned your lesson. The next time the market looks bullish, instead of entering long immediately, you wait for the market to dip, but it doesn't, and moves higher without you. Well, you won't be making that mistake again either. So the next time the market looks bullish at the open, you do something else. You enter immediately, but keep a wider stop, way out of the range of a dip. That way, you won't miss the move, and also won't get stopped out by the move. I mean, sure, you're sacrificing a bit of risk reward, but that's what it takes to win the trade, right? And then the market fails to move higher. This was a full-on reversal day, and the market breaks through your stop, and you take another loss. That's the problem with the market open. Now, you might argue that this can happen at any time in the day, and you'd be right. But later in the day, the market has usually calmed down. So if buyers took control in the morning and they've been consolidating to move higher, then that's much more likely to happen and face much less resistance. The sellers already lost that battle at the open, and now they're much less likely to suddenly stop all that momentum and reverse the entire day's move. That's why the open is harder to trade. Now, some come to the conclusion that you should just avoid the open entirely and wait an hour after the open, or maybe 30 minutes after the open, before engaging with the market. And that's not the worst advice. It's certainly better advice than entering at 9:30. But notice what it actually is. It's just a guess dressed up as a rule. Whether 30 minutes or an hour, those numbers mean nothing to the market. The market doesn't suddenly act right because it's 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. It doesn't care about time at all. It can still act the same way it was acting before 10. Or even worse, you can miss some perfectly clean opportunities that happen a couple of minutes before 10. So waiting on the clock is just a crude way of waiting for control to show up. You're using time as a stand-in for the real variable that actually matters. Because the question was never, what time is it? The question is, and always was, who's in control? And that's not something we need to guess. We don't need to wait for a certain time or make up any sort of arbitrary rule. We just need to wait for the market to tell us who's in control, and then trade in that direction. Let me show you exactly how we do that. So, how does the market actually tell us who's in control? Well, think about what control even is. If buying volume overwhelms selling volume over a certain time frame, then the price will naturally move up. This is just supply and demand, right? The demand of buy orders outweighs the supply of sell orders at whatever the current price may be. So those buy orders need to search for the next best price to get their orders filled. And this continues until the demand gets fulfilled by the supply, or until the balances tip over and there's a higher demand for sell orders than the buyers can supply. Then the price would move down. Now notice what that actually tells us. Price doesn't move randomly, and it doesn't move forever. It moves in one direction only for as long as one side keeps overwhelming the other. The moment enough opposing orders show up to absorb that pressure, the move stops. So the real question isn't, will the price go up or down? It's, where do enough opposing orders show up to stop it? Because if you knew that, you'd know where a move runs out of fuel and where the next one is likely to start. And those opposing orders aren't spread evenly across every price. They stack up heavily at a few specific prices and barely exist at the rest. Because the prices where a huge amount of buying or selling already happened are the prices that actually matter to people. That's where big players have orders resting, where they're waiting to defend a position, and where they'll step back in if price comes back. So those prices hold a deep pool of orders, and most of the prices in between hold almost nothing. Which means price behaves exactly how you'd now expect it to. It slides through the empty space easily because there's nothing there to stop it. And then it runs into one of these order-heavy prices, where there's finally enough supply or demand sitting to absorb the move and turn it around. Those order-heavy prices are what we call supply and demand levels, and that's the entire rhythm of the market, price moving from one level to the next. And by the way, if you want to learn how to mark and trade these levels precisely, I work with traders one-on-one in my mentorship. You'll get access to a private chat with me, a custom indicator, and a community of traders running the exact same system to hold you accountable. If you're interested, the link's in the description. So let's bring this straight to the open and watch how price actually behaves there. The price will either open in a level or somewhere in between two levels. It'll usually open in a level because that's where most buyers and sellers are already positioned. Now, instead of entering immediately or trying to get a quick read of what the price is doing, we're going to do nothing. The price will move aggressively and then eventually pick a direction. You absolutely do not want to enter a trade before it picks a direction. There is no advantage to being early here. You're just going to get chopped. And what it's going to do eventually is break to the next level above or below. This is where we're actually going to take the market seriously and consider entering. This type of move could happen at 11:03 or 10:25 or 9:48. You don't need to wait for a specific time. You just need to wait for this specific condition. Because this specific condition will tell you the one thing that actually matters, which is that one side is taking control. And that's when we're going to look for a breakout trade which has a high probability of moving in our direction. Now, one thing that's a hard rule here is that you shouldn't trade the first 5 to 10 minutes at all. This is a time where the market is still developing and picking a direction. Even if it looks like the market is picking a direction, it's usually a trap or not ready yet. And let's say we do get a breakout in that time frame. Well, it just happened too quickly to properly break out. On the ES. For a proper breakout, that would be at least 20 points from the opening level, and sometimes more like 30 points. And if you get 20 to 30 points in just one 5-minute candle here, it's probably not the best situation to enter. That would mean the market is very volatile, and you might be a victim of it. But let's say it's a genuine breakout and happens in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Now you missed it because you waited instead of entering right away. Are you frustrated? Well, maybe. But think about this. If we move 20 points in the first 5 to 10 minutes, we still have 7 hours left. So there's a very high chance that the move you just saw won't be the only move of the day, and we're likely to get more level-to-level moves and more action here later on. So you're missing very little by not trading in the first 5 to 10 minutes, and you're saving yourself a lot of mental energy and capital. Now, what you're actually going to do here right before the open is set alerts at both the upper and lower levels. And you want to set them at the edge of the levels to make sure that the price has actually broken out. Because you don't want the price to just briefly touch the level and then enter, and then get caught back in the chop. If the price breaks through the entire level, then that's a lot more meaningful, because that means we broke through a large number of buyers or sellers. And if we can clear that, then getting to the next level is much easier. That's why we only want to wait for breakouts. And there's one more thing we want to look for before we enter. Because not every open is the same. You can't just wait for a breakout in either direction and expect for it to work. It depends whether the market is currently bullish, bearish, or neutral. Because if, for example, the cloud is bearish, then going long if the price breaks the upper supply level is probably not the best idea. If anything, it's probably a pullback before we move lower, and you've just been caught buying the top of it. So we want to trade differently based on how the market's positioned. And to figure that out, we use the 1 hour cloud direction. So you're going to go on the 1 hour time frame, and you're going to use the slope of the 2050 EMA cloud to tell you which direction to trade. If it's sloping up, then you only want to enter longs. You don't want to take the breakout on the way down, as that'll usually be a trap. It's dipping right into support, so chances are it'll bounce right off and trap you. And same thing if it's sloping down. You only want to look for shorts. And if it's flat, then both sides are equally likely to break out. But chances are it'll be a bit messy, so be careful and make sure we fully break out of the level and build enough structure. That's all you need to do. So in this case, the cloud is bearish and sloping down. And we also see that the price attempted to break higher here multiple times but was rejected every time. Now we have a bunch of overhead structure here, which will put a lot of downward pressure on the price. That means you're looking at a lot of selling pressure. So if you go to your entry time frame on the 5-minute, your bias would be bearish. That means when you set your alerts, you're looking for a break of this demand level and a move lower. You can set an alert at the supply level as well, but you're not looking for a break higher. If it does hit that level, you'll simply set more alerts at the next level above and under, and then wait for one of those to hit. So now you're all set up, and you simply need to wait. And here we see that the price did break the demand level, and we'd enter short and target the next level. That's the correct way to trade the open. You avoid the volatility, you avoid the noise, and you're still able to catch the move in the right direction without unnecessarily waiting or sitting it out. You let the open do its thing, you let the chaos play out, and you only step in once the market has actually shown you who's in control. So to recap the process, before the open, mark your levels and set alerts at the edges of both. Skip the first 5 to 10 minutes no matter what. Check the 1 hour cloud to get your direction. Then wait for a clean break out of the level in that direction and take the level to level move. Rinse and repeat. Now be sure to join the accelerator down below if you're interested, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.